promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna make a scene. Got lights, cameras, action, but I promise that I won't be seen.
My name is Theodore.
My name is
and
Markeisha.
I am about 8
I'm
years
Mariana.
old.
You 8?
And I'm 10.
9 years.
I was diagnosed with
3 years
anxiety,
old.
depression, and
Okay, do you
PTSD.
recall what happened 6 years ago?
Okay.
Yes.
I got taken away.
I don't really remember.
It felt like I was fighting a losing battle.
I felt sad, mad.
If there was one thing that you could tell a child going through the same
I just
thing.
wanted
Okay,
to
what's
fit
the
in.
hardest part about it? Easiest part to deal with?
There was a lot of obstacles, but I overcame them.
Children, just know that it will be alright.
Before I begin telling my story, I must give warning that this story may potentially trigger some people who have similar background stories and current situations. I cried reflecting on the past event. However, if we can find the strength to get through this story, you may find some valuable information throughout my story. If you don't think you can, I understand, and you don't have to endure the agony, guilt, or the emotions. Just remember you're strong and will come out victorious if you never give up. You can still leave questions in the comments, and I will try to help you even if you can't continue. Then the fog really settled in. The depression enveloped me, and the veil of darkness covered my face. Everywhere I went, everything seemed dull and dark. I was losing my identity as well. I continued to work my job, but I found myself enveloped in anxiety, barely able to function, but I tried to manage. And I was upset mostly with myself, and my sleep was sporadic and spaced until after I was prescribed sertraline, which is also known as Zoloft. I was also prescribed another medication, but I can't remember the name. First, I was told my body had to adjust to the medication, but I hated it. I would take it on Tuesday after work, and it would have me sleeping until Friday. So I didn't take it every day. By Friday, I was able to wake up, but I was groggy for 2 more days. Monday, the medication was wearing off. Tuesday, the process started over. I told my psychiatrist, but again, he said my body needed time to adjust. I don't recall when or how, but I got tired of the effects of the medication. There was also the disclaimer that the medication could become addictive and it could make depression worse. I stopped taking it. I was never really fond of taking medication, and since it was potentially addictive, my logic was what would be the difference between taking the medication or drinking alcohol? I actually didn't consider drinking alcohol as a coping mechanism until a question was asked, and then I was told not to because I could get addicted. I began to drink. My oldest daughter's dad repeatedly warned me that I would become an alcoholic, but I assured him that the alcohol was so disgusting and I wouldn't. And we would go back and forth about it. I was so sensitive to the alcohol, it wouldn't take me long to fall asleep, but at least I woke up the same day functional. So I stuck with that, drinking some alcohol after work to help me sleep because the alternative was walking the neighborhood until I was deeply in pain. The amount of alcohol I drank slowly increased, but I knew not to go overboard, so I just drink it just enough to go to sleep. Still, my oldest daughter's dad would insist I was getting addicted. I just needed to cope with the losses. People would tell me I was using alcohol to escape the problem, but I told them the purpose was not to escape from the problem, but instead to help cope with it. After I would wake up, I would immediately work on my plan to reunite with my children. It was a routine. I worked a 4-day work week. Every day, though, I would drink after work, sleep a few short minutes, devise my plan, remind myself that if my mother was alive, this wouldn't have happened. Then I'd remind myself I was to blame for her death, and she'd be angry with me because I lost my children. I'm a horrible mother. I don't deserve my children. I don't deserve life. It was a vicious cycle of guilt and self-hate.
I shine so bright you might go blind.